Hey guys, welcome. This is George again. I want to show you how to use the torch and how to do a few repairs. I prepared some things, I laid them out for you. But if you do use this torch to actually repair jewelry with, you are a grandmaster, so I can't touch you. You should not be learning or watching this video. This video is not for you. If you hold the torch this way, definitely you are a black belt in actually torching, okay? And I've seen a lot of people hold it like this, which is that's a great way to do it, but you're only gonna have consistent heat. And if you hold the torch this way, you are Bruce Lee. So I have a lot of respect for you. So let's try, get going here. I'm gonna show you the George way. Again, don't take my way, do it your way. But if you wanna learn, you could try my ways of 48 years doing this, okay? So let's try it, okay? So I'm gonna do different things. So first things we're gonna do is I prepared multiple things, like I said. We're gonna use alcohol and boric acid. And I want to show you how I use my torch. It's very important. So when you light up the torch, you start with the actual propane first. And you can see my fingers, they switch left and right. So when I increase it here, I don't need to change the tip. And I'll tell you the tip, this is number 5. And you can see I adjust my flame as needed. And when you're fusing, you cannot keep it one consistent heat. Because what happens is if you heat it and you got like emeralds on the sides, or you got any kind of stone, especially with platinum, you are going to burn the stones. So what I do, I adjust it so that I don't use 2 hands. I try to do it with 1 hand because one hand's holding the actual tweezers or the item and the other hand consistent. This is what I focus on here. You want this area here. This is where your oxygen is, okay? And this is your propane. So when I pull my oxygen back, this is what I want. All depends how hot I want the piece. So that's how you're going to control your torch, okay? So when this thumb does all the work. I do thumb and index finger. That's an index finger, right? Okay, so I go here. See, I'm from Lebanon. I don't know the difference. So I'm going like this. You could adjust it. Make sure you have nice, clean tips. It's very important. You can see how it's a little red. I kind of hit it a little bit. See, hopefully that cleans. I usually stick an actual saw blade in there and I clean it, okay? So we can, a lot of times you don't even need boric acid and stuff like that, but just for the people that want to learn. So what I do, I dip this. I just drop it a little bit here if I want to, but it's not necessary. Okay, so what you're going to do is we're going to use the flux. So this is your solder, right? So I'm going to go just like this from here. So when I heat it, hopefully you can see it. Let me see this here. So I got my son Noah here. He's the best movie maker. So here, I'm going to go like this. If you notice, look at my fingers, Noah. Show him the tips. You see how I use the belly of the heat, and look how I increase my oxygen? So when I bring this here, I'm going to zap it. So watch, I heat both, and I'm going to just drop it in. Okay, see that? A lot of people will heat it from the bottom, but look at it. It welded all the way here. Because what happened, by increasing the oxygen, I really zapped the whole ring. Okay, so that thing drops in. You could heat it from the top and work your way like this. You could turn it, heat it from the bottom. But you can see the dirt is burning here. That means telling me the emeralds are getting hot. So you don't have to do this. So now, so if I'm going to fuse it here, this one requires a lot of fluxing, okay? So make sure you flux this. And I press it down like this. So watch, I press it here, okay? I zap it. Look at the oxygen, how I do my oxygen. And that's it, and that's fused together. Okay, now, if I'm gonna go, all right. Sorry, we had a customer, we had to stop. All right, so we're gonna go here. So make sure this tip is straight. Always tighten this here with your fingers or use a pair of pliers. So if I'm going to fuse it, I flux both sides, both ends like this. You could add a piece and solder it, but for me, it takes too long. Okay, I'm going to use this ring here from this area. So I'm not going to use the solder area. So I'm going to cut it here. Take that piece out. Okay, I straighten it out a little bit. You don't have to go crazy. So I'm just going to fuse it from corner to corner, okay? You ready to know? So watch this. Look at my oxygen right here. See how I pull it back? So I'm going to bring this in first. That's one area. And I work my heat down to heat it so it bends with me. And if it doesn't drop, I'll make it drop. See that? That's all done. That's like, I don't know, 4 sizes up. Okay. So now this one, I want to do the solder on the outside. A lot of people have issues with the solder dropping in. Okay, I could fuse this here. I'm going to use white gold, yellow gold, doesn't matter. You could use, this is actually yellow gold. I'm going to use it on white. Okay, so I flux this. You can flux the actual solder as well. All right, let me see here. Get a pick. Again, I control my oxygen propane. I pick my solder up. I heat the ring. Now look at my finger here. I place it on the board. And when I pick it up, okay, you heat the ring. While it's getting hot, you drop your solder. Now, you can see the solder flowed right in there. Now watch. Boom, I go, boom, done. So I go on the inside. You could heat it. Now, the whole joint is soldered. I know some people were having a hard time getting the stuff in there. A lot of times I don't even clean the joint. I just cut it, okay? But that's how you flow it. All right, we're going to try this here. We're going to go here. Don't dip it in alcohol or boric acid whatsoever, okay? So, again, watch how I control my oxygen propane. I pick up my solder, and watch this. I control it here. I go sideways, belly. And I retip the emerald, and this is an actual genuine emerald. Do not dip it in water. And don't try this at home, okay? Unless you're a super expert. Okay, I'm going to show you how to solder this small chain to the actual, any type of post or wire. Once you cut your wire, make sure you flatten it out nice and clean. And make sure you pick, whatever you pick it up with, make sure it's nice and clean as well. Okay, that's important. Okay, so now, don't put a lot of flux on it because that will make a mess and you will not see it. You weigh it down. Okay, you get your solder, very small amount of solder. Tiny, tiny flux, not too much because you will not be able to see it, okay? So pick up your solder and you heat the actual post and you bring the solder to it. Okay, you can see how it's stuck to it nicely. Then you get your actual chain and you grab just one of them. I think this is silver, but you could do white gold on it, yellow gold, it doesn't matter. Bring it over, just that, and you heat the post, not the actual, not this, because you will fuse it together. So heat the post while the post is hot. You start bringing this in. You see how I don't go direct heat to it. I let the belly of the actual torch or the flame hit it, and then I bring my thing in. You can see how nice and clean that is, and it's very flexible. And make sure you file this, okay? Make sure it's nice and clean. And let's say this is the bezel. I don't have a bezel to show you, but make sure this is nice clean, the bottom of the bezel, okay? All right. So now, here's what I would do normally. So you make sure you put in alcohol and boric acid to both pieces, okay? Light them both up on fire, right? So let the actual alcohol burn. And you cannot keep consistent heat on these. You have to really add a lot of heat for the silver because silver takes a lot of heat, okay? So here we go. So make sure you face yourself this way so it's on. So always facing you this way. So what I do, I increase my oxygen as I go. So first we're gonna flux it, okay? Here's your flux. So you run your flux. You put your solder here on. I'm going to cut 2 pieces of solder. I'm going to flux the solder as well. A lot of times the solder have like oils on it, so it's not spreading. And a lot of times, to be honest with you, I would actually sand it a little bit. You can see how it's wrinkling, but make sure there's enough flux. So when I heat it from the top like this, while it's getting hot, okay, I'm going to drop my solder on there. Okay, now watch this. So I heat it in a circle, okay? So once you can see the solder float on there, then I do the same exact thing on the bottom of this, okay? So I'm gonna heat it, add a little bit of flux because usually the solder has dirt on it. It curls up instead of melting. So I'm gonna heat this on there like this. And you can see I work it back and forth. Don't keep consistent heat. So I go like this so the piece spreads everywhere so you have it. So now I'm gonna take this while it's hot and I'm gonna heat it from the bottom. So again, I'm gonna go in a circular motion like this. So I'm gonna stick my bezel on there, for example. Let's say I'm gonna do it this way. All right, let's see, this way. Show it to you the best way. So while I'm heating it, so let's say I work it this way, but that might take too long and the ring starts melting. I will give this a little bit of heat here like this. So now they're equal. And watch now, as soon as you do this, the solder, they should suck, they should pull each other in. I'm trying to be correct here. You can see the solder wants to go in. So I give it a little bit on top and keep the heat consistent. You can see it, it's going in, okay? And it's floating beautifully, okay? That's on there. And let's dip it in and see how strong that joint is. You can see it's welded on there. And you can see it's on there. Okay? Please help out if you like, if you don't like anything that you saw here. And I really appreciate you. Please ask a lot of questions. I hope I can help you. And thanks for watching. I appreciate you.